and empower the next generation to explore and create and learn in a fun and immersive environment. And we do this by involving the schools in our journey towards Expo 2020 and during the 6 months of the event. Part of what we do is engage with the school community through the workshops, through different workshops, just like today, to equip the students with the knowledge they need to help them build their future. And of course, today is no exception. We are bringing you a workshop by one of our Expo 2020 partner companies, Mastercard. And as it is International Women's Day, we are hosting their critically acclaimed Girls4Tech workshop. Before we start the workshop, I'd like to share with you a few house rules. You will notice that your cameras and microphones are switched off. They will remain off for the entire hour to ensure that we have a seamless workshop. In the meantime, there will be interaction with the facilitators by answering the questions in the box at the bottom of the screen. Without further ado, I introduce to you Shahd, who will be facilitating this workshop. Thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed, and welcome everybody. Happy Women's Day. The Mastercard team and I are really excited to be here. My name is Shahd, and I'm going to be leading this session for Girls4Tech today. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we get into the content, I want to see which one of you actually know what Mastercard does. So if you can see in my background here, this logo, the kind of Venn diagram that's red and yellow. Has anyone seen that before on something? Or can anyone tell me what we do? Just go to the chat box and type that out. And since there's so many of you, and unfortunately we cannot interact via voice, my friend Georgina is going to help me out and call out your answers for me. So Georgina, what do they think Mastercard does?
Wow, we've got some really great answers here. You girls know your stuff. We've got lots of people saying credit cards, ATM. Okay. Someone says wiggle, wiggle. There's lots of questions going on over here. Financial services. That's the
Oh, wow. I love that. Wow, they're spot on.
My dad uses the card. Shahad, how amazing.
Great. Thank you. Well, to those who mentioned that Mastercard is a credit card company, that is part of our business model. You're right. So part of how we work is we work with banks to help issue cards. But to look at Mastercard and a kind of like a step back and look at the overview, we're actually a tech company that's operating in the payments that we want to make a world beyond cash. So the next time that your parents actually go to the groceries, or you're ordering online, you don't really have to pay with this anymore. I don't know if you guys can see the cash. And instead, you can just tap and go using your phone, which is pretty cool, right? And so my friends and I, who are here today to present to you, we all work for Mastercard, and we're here to tell you about the really cool things that you can do at a tech company and why we need you. Because we're actually facing a bit of a challenge. There's not a lot of girls who are into the STEM subjects and technology, and we want to show you exactly why you should be doing this. Because we need your creativity, we need your intelligence, and we need you guys to come and help us make this world better. So I just want to gauge and see how the session is going to run. So I want to see how many of you love technology. I want you to put a smiley face in the chat box if you love technology. Okay, what about science? Who here loves science? Okay, I'm not getting. Is there any smileys, Georgina?
Lots of smileys.
Great. Okay, what about engineering? How many people like to build?
We've got someone, Danielle Barr. She's put 10 smiley faces.
I love it. Love the energy.
Kelly Weaver loves maths.
Good.
Dayani, yes, she loves science. Yeah.
Perfect.
Abigail.
So actually, excuse me. Yeah. Perfect. So actually, if you put those subjects together, that stands for STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're here to show you exactly how fun that can be for working for a tech company like ours. And now we're just going to give some brief introductions. So I'm just going to start first. My name is Shahid, and I am an associate analyst at Mastercard. So what I do is I deal with a lot of number crunching. So if anyone has data that they need to kind of collate, it's me who they come to. And I actually work on making that data easy to read as well. So if anyone wants graphs or a document, you want to be able to read something and be like, okay, I get what the gist of the idea is. That's the person that's working on that is me. And the way I would describe myself, it's pretty artistic, creative, curious, and friendly as well. And now the mic is over to Georgina.
I'm a director of internal communications, and that means that I have an important role in ensuring that all of our employees across the Middle East and Africa where we work understand what Mastercard's doing and what each other are doing. We're a big company. We have nearly 20,000 employees across the whole world. So it's really important that we stay connected and we create a really great culture in our organization where the best people choose to work. And we use lots of different communications technologies and create lots of different contents to do this. So it is a really great job if you want to work in technology. And the skills you need to do that, you need to be curious. You need to care about other people and the world around you. You need to be persistent. So you just need to never give up. Creative, and it's very scientific because you need to use data to make sure that your communications is working. Thanks, Shahid.
Thanks, Georgina. Okay, over to you, Andrea.
Hi, my name is Andrea. Great to be here. I can see 1,008 participants. That's absolutely astonishing. And, all of it, or most of it is girls. So happy Women's Days and happy Girls' Days today. I'm heading customer experience and design for Middle East and Africa. So what I do, I work with the partners and trying to design the experiences of our products for you as users, that they are seamless and then they are fun. So, who I am a real customer experience evangelist. I love my jobs. I'm trying to make every experience as smooth and seamless as possible. I have 2 great boys. I'm a passionate chef. I am an enthusiastic runner, and I love fashion. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Perfect. Fatima, are you there?
Shahad, she's facing some issues to connect.
No worries. Thank you. Okay, I'll just, we'll move on. We'll come back to her. No worries. Hanan?
Thank you, Shahad. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. So my name is Hanan, and I am a program manager. It's like the captain of ship. So I oversee big projects like Expo 2020, which I'm sure you know about it, and it's coming soon in October. It's involved a large number of people from different functions like marketing, finance, digital, Andrea's team as well. My role is to coordinate all the activities of the project, which needs to be done on time and align with the project goals. So I keep also everyone updated with the project update on a timely manner. I would consider myself to be persistent, very organized, curious, and friendly. Thank you.
Thanks, Hanan. Over to you, Andre.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yandre, and I'm part of the Mastercard communications team, which means that every day we try to find cool new ways to tell stories. I am obviously not a girl, but I work closely with Shahad and Georgina to set up sessions just like this to make sure that we have more Girls4Tech in the world. I am curious, enthusiastic, friendly, and innovative.
Great. Perfect. And last but not least, Vanji.
Hi, I love the energy in this group. Thank you for sending messages to all of us. My name is Vanshi Kotru. I'm a product manager within Mastercard. So which means I'm responsible for scaling digital solutions for merchants in Middle East and North Africa. When I say merchants, these could be any of merchants that you probably use. So it could be your digital partners like Amazon, Facebook, Google, or it could be your airlines, or it could be your retailers like Carrefour, Lulu. I consider myself to be analytic, enthusiastic, just like all of you out here, artistic and persistent, and so happy to be a Girls4Tech mentor. So see you girls.
Thank you, Vanshi. And Fatma, have you joined? Are you able to unmute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Perfect.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
let
didn't
me
fix
just
my virtual background yet. I'll do that in a minute.
It's all good. All right,
you want Yeah, go ahead.
You want to just introduce yourself?
Yes, sure, I could do that. Right. So, hello, future leaders. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. So, this is Fatma Sajwani, and I'm part of Mastercard, what we like to call the Start Path program, which is a program that we have to build relationships with new entities. So, we help big and large organizations partner with new startups that have just started and are probably owned by few people in comparison to organizations owned by or managed and run by more than 200 to 300 people. So that's my job, and this is how we share ideas and become creative. I consider myself to be innovative because I have to make these partnerships work, cooperative, working together well with my team, and I'm, as usual, happy to meet you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fatma. And thank you, all the mentors, for introducing yourselves. So now I want to hear from you girls and guys. Which of these words that you see in front of you describe you? Just let us know in the chat box and let's see what everyone has to offer us. Georgina, are we seeing any kind of like common ground? Is there anyone that said they're saying like similar things? Okay, I think we might have lost Georgina, but no worries. Thank you, everyone. Oh, are you still there?
Hi, sorry, I came back. Yes, Shahad, we've got loads of different people coming in with loads of different comments.
Perfect.
Yeah, sounds nice. Good work, girls.
Great. Okay, perfect. So let's jump right into the session. So first, we're going to start off by talking about all things digital. Now, in order for us to access this Girls4Tech session, we use technology. But what exactly is technology? I want everyone to go back to the chat box and give me an example that comes to mind when you think of the word technology.
Very good. We've got laptops, AI, gadget, the future.
Okay, interesting.
iPad, electronics, coding, really good, Clara. Great answers.
Great. Andrea, what is your favorite tech and Mastercard? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So definitely my not favorite item is now muting and unmuting myself because I'm failing every single time. But it's a great question. And it's quite simple for me because I think for me, it's our processing capability. So let me tell you why. As a mother of 8 and 10-year-old boys, I want my kids to learn how to manage their money, how to pay online for their games or in store for their books, how to save and enable them to receive, their pocket money from my parents, for example. So,
of course.
And while I'm controlling everything, and our Mastercard processing platform enables the banks to offer to their customer exactly that. So it's a really dream for every parent who wants financially savvy kids. So for me, my favorite technology is a Mastercard processing capability.
Great. Well, that's a really nice insight, and thank you for that. Now, I have another activity for everyone, so jump back onto the chat. You see 10 items in front of you. Which ones do you think are related to technology? So it could be, you think it's 1 and 9 or 1 and 10. So list them out for us and let's see what everyone thinks.
Oh, we've got some very good answers here. 8 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Very good. Yeah, good work, girls.
Girl. Is there anyone that said like all of them? Has anyone said none of them? Is there any kind of that kind of end of the spectrum?
I think I would say 20% of answers are saying all of them, but some people just say number 9, others say just number 5.
Okay, well,
saying all of them.
To the people who said all of them, I want to give you like a round of applause because that's really impressive. Actually, technology, you're right. It is all of them. Andrea, could you just help me out with the definition of what technology is?
Okay, so technology is the use of science to invent useful things or solve any kind of problem. So as Chats was saying, everything showcased on the PowerPoint is a technology.
Exactly. And so you notice it doesn't have the word digital in it. So whenever we think of technology nowadays, we think, oh, it's, it's going to be a phone, it's going to be an iPad, it's going to be something electronic, when actually it's just anything that's solving a problem. So if we take the example of cash, it's solving the problem, the real life problem of value. How do you put a value on something? How do you know what it's worth? So now I need your help. So I want to know which of these items of the 10 that you guys have seen do we use to listen to music? So again, list them out for me in the chat. Which ones do we use to listen to music? So just put the numbers down so it's easier for you girls to guys to write it out.
Yeah, we've got a mix. We've got 3 and 5, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5, and 6.
6, 3, 5. Okay.
Some good guesses there.
That's good. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, right? Let's see how many of you girls were on the right track. So we have these 4 items that are in front of you. These are all used to listen to music. And it's really interesting how technology has changed over time. And I want to be able to work with you and see which of these is the oldest and newest. So we're going to put it in order from what we think, our great-great-grandparents used to what we use today. So let's start with number 1. So you see the numbers in front of you. You see the names in front of you. Which one is the first one, like the oldest one? Just give me the name of it.
Oh, we've got vinyl, cassette tape.
Okay, so between vinyl and cassette. Okay, let's see who was right. Okay, so it was the vinyl. So for you who haven't seen a vinyl before because it's really old, it's like this huge disc that's like this big, and it actually only plays 7 or 8 songs. So you can imagine like how many times someone would have to change the track. And moving on to the second oldest. So what would be after the vinyl?
Oh, we've got cassette, Vankia, Anaya, cassette tape, Safa. Yes.
Okay. So let's see if they were right. Okay, exactly. And it was the cassette tape. So if you haven't seen this before, this is like a small square that you insert into a cassette player. And then again, that has slightly more amount of songs, but it's not so much that like we have today. Okay, what about number 3?
Number 3, we've got Sia. She's got CD.
Mm-hmm.
Zara says CD.
Okay. So no one is saying smartphone then?
No smartphones.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, so it is the CD, exactly. And so that leaves the last but not the least is the mobile phone. So now we've got that in order. We're going to try this again, but let's do this with photos. So again, go back to the chat box and put what numbers you think are related to photos.
2. Creeper says 2.
2, okay.
We've got some smartphones.
Okay.
CD to say photos. Very good. That's clever. Cool. CD, phone, smartphone.
Okay. Let's see what we have. So actually these 4 items that you see in front of you, these are all used to take photos. So you can see 3 of them are actually kind of different versions of cameras. But now we have to do the same thing like we did before. We have to put them in order. So you have got the names in front of you. Which one is the oldest? So which is the one that, like, again, our great-grandparents used to use to take photos?
Okay, just give it a few minutes. Okay, yeah. Right, vintage camera.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Vintage tiara.
Exactly. So it's the vintage camera. What about next? What do we have for our second oldest in terms of the photo taking?
Film camera.
Okay.
Yes, there, film camera.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if they were right. Right, and it was the film camera. Perfect. Okay, what about the third oldest, or the third? Yeah, the one that's the third in the sequence.
Digital camera. We've got digital camera.
Digital camera.
The Dita Oven, very good. Digital.
Spot on.
The DJ, yes.
Digital camera is third, and therefore the smartphone, again, last but not least, is the fourth one. And one more round for everyone. What about payments? Now, this is a little bit tricky, but what do we think from the 10 items do we use for payments?
Cash, money.
Cash. Okay.
Credit cards.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's two on four. What other items do we see?
Checks.
Yeah, good. That's a good one.
Anushka thinks cash. Renee thinks checks. Online transfer. Very good.
Very good. Wow, very advanced.
Apple Pay.
Let's see. Apple Pay, so the smartphone, right? So exactly. So these are the four that you have identified, which we use to make payments now. Again, let's go back. Square one. Which one is the oldest form of payment for us?
Cash. Money.
Cash. Exactly. Okay. What about the second oldest?
Money order. Checks.
Okay. Perfect. Checks. And then the third oldest?
Good work, Raki. ATM. Very good. Credit card. Smartphone.
Okay. So it's either the credit card or the smartphone, right? Let's see. And it's the card. So again, last but not least, the smartphone is fourth. So now we have that in order. And so it's really interesting how we saw with those three categories, how the technology changed over time. And that's actually called innovation. But now looking at innovation, Fatima, what's the latest innovation that you have worked on at Mastercard? Can you tell us a bit about that?
And Shahad, if you could move the I think some girls are having trouble with the presentation there.
Sure. Can they not see the next slide?
Innovation. Yeah, now we can. And the next one.
I think, yeah. I think there's just a little bit of a lag. We'll just give it a couple more seconds. Is Fatima there?
You're on mute, Fatima.
Oh, story of the year.
I can help Fatima out. If you go to innovation, Shahad, the next bit.
Okay, great. So we'll just move on then and we'll come back to this. So innovation, in terms of the definition, we'll just give you girls a quick idea. It's actually a new idea, process, or device that brings value into people's lives. So what was the one thing that we saw that was a common kind of element in all of the three categories? Does anyone know? Can anyone, like the smartphone? I'm seeing people say smartphone. Yes, exactly. So when we look at the smartphone, we see how the music, it kind of, it converged into the smartphone. Then we saw the camera. Then we saw the payments. And so when things come together, we say the word that they converge. So I don't know if anyone has heard that before, but converging means coming from outwards and coming inwards. So coming into one form. And so digital convergence is the exact same thing, except it's when it happens on a digital device. Yandre, can you just jump in and help us define digital convergence for them?
Yeah, so digital convergence is the coming together of multiple functions in a single device, such as a smartphone.
Exactly. So again, we when we focus on the word convergence, it means to come together. So our phone is kind of like an all-in-one, very handy thing. So imagine, that camera that we saw, the brown one. Imagine having to carry that around anywhere you went. If you had to go on vacation, or you were like riding the train, it would be really bulky and heavy, right? But when we look at how easy it is for us now, that just goes to show how cool technology can be and how it's going to continue to evolve. Now, looking at digital convergence, how many things can you girls do with your smartphone? Sometimes I actually forget how many things I can do. It's so overwhelming, but let us on your smartphone when you use it.
Games, social media, camera.
Okay.
Yeah, some great answers there, Shahad.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. So these are just a couple more ideas for you. And one, for example, like if you look at just seeing the time, I mean, we also just used to look at clocks, right? Or like, you're looking at your analog watch or your clock. And now something as simple as that, we don't even have to worry about. And our phone will tell us the time for us. And other things like you guys said, playing games, watching movies, all of these are kind of like, brought into like this one area that we can access, and that is through our mobile phones. Now we've seen what technology can do and what our phones can do, but how does it do it, right? What is the method of communication? I am talking to you right now in English, and there is thousands of languages across the world. We've got Arabic, we've got Chinese, we've got French, we've got Spanish. But what code or what language does the computer use? And it's something called binary code. So let's just step backwards and like understand, does anyone know the prefix bi, what it stands for? I'm thinking, what's that thing that we ride on for exercise? What is that object called again? Can anyone remind me?
Bicycle. Very
bicycle
good.
Yeah. So bicycle has two wheels, therefore binary code has two numbers. Yandre, can you just help us define what binary code is?
Yeah, so binary code, and I have to say that a bunch of the girls have already called this out, so they might be as smart as we are.
I think
a bunch of girls have said that, binary code is a digital language that represents data using two digits. So that's either a 0 or a 1.
Exactly. So we've got 26 letters in our alphabet, and then the computer actually only understands 2. And good job to everyone who said that out. I'm pretty impressed. You all know that. And so just to give you an example, when we type, the way that the computer understands that, you actually it sees our letters into a combination which is made up of 8 digits, and that's between 0s and 1s, right? And then we're looking at bits and bytes, but we don't want to get too much into that technical aspect. Now, when we use our phones, we do something called authentication, right? You want to unlock your phone, you want to check out what's happening on your social media, you want to see what's happening on TikTok, and you authenticate. So you actually want to prove that it's you, in fact, that's holding your phone and that's using it. What do we use to authenticate ourselves and in our devices?
Passwords. Lily's says accounts.
Okay.
Nice. Finger ID.
Okay, let's grab onto that. Yes, I like this kind of the features that we have going on. So we do use passwords, that is correct, but we can actually use features, part of us, which are characteristics, right? I want everyone to just kind of take a minute and look at your fingers, okay? Or if you have a mirror in front of you, look at your face. And did you know that actually each of us have a completely unique definition of face in terms of where my eyes are, where my nose are, how it looks? Every single finger is completely unique. And so we can use those attributes that are unique to the self to be able to know that you is you and not someone else, right? Does anyone know what that is called when you use your unique identification? What is that called?
Face ID, authenticate, face recognition.
Okay, we're nearly there. Okay. It starts with the word bio something. Has anyone heard that before?
Analysis, biodata,
biodata. Okay.
Biomass, biometrics.
Yes. Let's hold on to that, Georgina. So biometrics is that concept that we use in terms of using our unique facial features and our fingerprints. So Yandre, jump back in for me and let me know what biometrics means.
I cannot see your screen, but there's a biometrics. It's the measurement. It's back, just in time. It's the measurement of unique characteristics, especially to identify your personal identity.
Exactly. So I think I couldn't have said it better. So we've got this definition. Now, how does biometrics fit into this whole computer language thing? So actually, when you scan your print or look at your phone to unlock it, your computer is actually putting that onto a grid, and the grid takes different points and it actually maps that into code. So now that when you put your fingerprint onto the graph, the scanner, it puts it onto a graph, and then from there it becomes a unique binary code. And now that way my phone knows that it's me that is looking at my messages, and Georgina's not trying to get in and look at any of my emails. So it's pretty cool, right? How we do that. Now, we've covered a whole lot with all things digital. I'm going to move on and look at things to do with fraud. So what happens when our information gets into the wrong hands? We do want to keep a lot of information safe, but what happens when someone does use it for the wrong purposes? We're going to look at that now. So I want everyone to kind of get their thinking caps on, and we're going to become fraud detectives. So what is wrong with with the kind of the photo or the image in front of me? There seems to be an issue. Can anyone tell me what's the issue with the image?
Ooh, wrong footprints, animal paws, pet prints, different footsteps.
Cool. So it looks like what you guys are saying is that there's a break in the pattern. So it's like something that just looks off. And so there are, like you said, there are paw prints, footsteps are wrong. So something just doesn't fit the pattern. Let's hold on to that. So I want now everyone to close your eyes and imagine that you are in a desert. You're in the middle of the Sahara and you see lots of sand dunes and everything, and you're the only one there. What are you leaving behind when you're walking? You're leaving behind your footprints, right? Exactly how you see in front of you. And so we'll take that concept actually, and when you're online, you know that you actually leave a footprint online as well, and that's called a digital footprint. So I'm gonna get Hanan to actually give us some examples of what her digital footprint is at Mastercard. Hanan, can you give us some examples?
Yes, sure, Shahad. Thank you. So, as I said initially, so I'm working on Expo 2020. So, per instance, when you or your parent go to the website to buy your ticket, this is an example of digital payment. And when you purchase your ticket with Mastercard card, so the payment is facilitated between Expo website and the bank using our technology. It's called a payment gateway. It's like a technical link that that help the processing of the transaction.
Okay, cool.
So if I can give another example, when you see your parent using your card or your phone paying at the terminal without touching the terminal, which called also a contactless transaction, which is a digital payment as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Hanan. Exactly. So what she was saying, let's build on that. So, anything that you do that is digital online has been recorded. So similar to anything that you post on TikTok, anything that you like on Instagram, anything that you tweet on Twitter, that is all recorded in your digital footprint. So you leave a trail behind of all of the interactions that you've done online. And Hanan, could you just help me with the definition of a digital footprint?
So digital payment or digital footprint, it's a transaction that takes place in digital online where you enter your personal detail and card detail, and there is no physical exchange of money involved. And this data needs to be secured and safe that no hacker can touch it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And now, what our kind of objective is as part of Mastercard, what fraud detectives do is they help to identify whether or not someone has committed fraud. Does anyone know what the word fraud means? Has anyone come across it?
Fake.
Great. Okay, good.
Cheating.
Cheating.
Lots of fake.
Fake. Yes, yeah. I think that's a good buzzword for the word fraud. So fraud is the wrongful deception for personal or financial gain. Again, yeah. So what you girls are saying, fake. It's someone who's being an imposter and basically taking your information and using it and pretending to be you. So if we take the example of, let's say, downloading music. So maybe you're someone who really likes chill, mellow music. You like that thing that very, very slow, kind of, think of like waves crashing, or think of, like the rain pouring, very cool stuff. But then suddenly you've downloaded music and it's like really rock and roll, like God forbid. And in that instance, there's a break in your pattern, right? You follow a certain path and suddenly something that's completely off. Now, someone from the fraud detective side of Mastercard flags that and say, excuse me, there looks like someone, it's not Shahed who's downloading this music, it's someone else. We're going to investigate, and we want to get, make sure that, whoever has your information, we want to get that away from them, and we want to call them out, be like, you can't do that, and then go to court and all of that fun legal stuff, but we're not going to get into this. So in the case of what everyone pointed out earlier, the paw prints, it looks like there's I think if it's a bear or some sort of animal is trying to be a human, or vice versa. And so now it's your turn to be fraud detectives for me. I need help. I need to report these customer purchases back to the fraud team. So there are 4 items in front of you in terms of each customer, and I want you to put a smiley face in the chat box if you think that, this customer looks like everything fits the pattern, good to go. Or if you think there looks like there is fraud, put an exclamation mark and investigate. So again, smiley.
We have a mix.
Exclamation mark.
Issue. Half exclamation mark, half smiley face.
Okay, that's interesting. So the people who put exclamation marks, why is this an issue? Doesn't it look like there's a pattern? Is there anyone given any explanation?
Question marks around that. Well, no, someone said all sports. Look, they all look like they're from playing sports, which suggests there's a pattern, right?
Okay. Yeah, so when we're looking at the customer purchases, we're looking at the general category. So, right, spot on to people who have said that it's sports. So it's gloves, it's shin guards, shoes, and the kit. So it's all to do with sports. So I think this is a safe purchase. So we're okay. We're not gonna, investigate further. Okay, so now you guys see how it is with the first customer. What about the second one? Can anyone tell me if this is a good to go purchase, or do we see an issue?
See.
Okay, so there is an issue that seems to be at hand, right? Can anyone tell me which one of the 4 items is the issue? Like, why have you guys flagged that up? Georgina, have they put any numbers? Have they told us which of the 4 kind of is the issue we see?
Aha, yes. My mute is unmuted. Well, yeah, we've got sports. So everyone sees us sports, but everyone's saying, number 4, I see a telescope.
Right. So that is exactly what it is. Actually, there's an issue because this person seems to have bought a bunch of sports gear, but the telescope has kind of come out of the blue. And so what we're doing now is we're going to take this customer and we're going to report it to our fraud team and tell them, can you investigate? Looks like something looks fishy, something's out of place. Okay, that's 2 on 2 for you guys. One more. What about this? What do we think? Good to go? If we're good to go, give me a smiley. If we think there's an issue, exclamation mark all over the place.
We've got all good from Anne Joseph.
Okay.
Number 2 from Ninon.
That's interesting. So some people have said number 2 looks out of place.
They have.
Now, this one's a tricky one. I'm not going to lie. It can be confusing. So to the people who've said number 2, it may or may not be fraud. Now, why do we say this? Because it looks like it fits the pattern because it's all to do with sports. So you would technically take this, the picnic box to take, your snacks. But at the same time, not everyone does that. So maybe there is an issue. So we're going to flag it and then we're going to let the team investigate and just see if they come up with anything. Okay? Well, that's great. So now you guys have had your chance to be fraudsters. We want to now tell you what Mastercard does behind the scenes to actually protect you from these people who are trying to be fake and try to pretend to be who you are. So let's be cryptologists. And I know the word cryptologist sounds a bit it just sounds a bit made up, but trust me, it actually does mean something. And we're going to tell you right now what it is. So go back to the chat box. What data do you want to keep safe online? Can you guys let me know? So I'll kick it off. What I like.
Pictures,
my mobile phone.
Where we live. Very good.
Okay, passwords. Yeah, of course, you don't want your passwords floating around. And also, you don't want your name floating around either. You don't want your bank information. I call on Vanshi actually to help us explain what are some things at Mastercard that we want to keep safe.
So thanks, Shahad. So at Mastercard, we want to keep your identity, your biometrics, your credit card numbers, your data, your documents, your passwords. There are just so many things that we keep and safe at Mastercard.
Wow, yeah, there's so much. And I think there's a long of a list, right? And yeah, we're trying our best. Can anyone help me out? Can anyone read what is happening on the slide? It looks like there's something wrong. Georgina, can you read it out for me? Seems like there's an issue. And I think, like you people correctly said, I think I'm seeing people say it's code, right? Exactly. I'm very glad you can't read this because it has been coded. And when you code something, that is actually something called encryption. So Vanshi, can you just let us know what encryption is?
Sure. Encryption is converting information into a code, especially to prevent unauthorized access, just like you mentioned.
Exactly. Yes, perfect. Thanks so much. So encryption, yeah. So what we're doing is basically putting kind of a lock on your information. So think of it like actual physical lock, like this one here. So what do we need to unlock a lock? Does that make sense? Yeah. What do we need to unlock a lock?
Very good. Key. Great work.
Key.
So
exactly. The same way you guys just mentioned, for a physical lock, you need a key. You actually need a key to decrypt the encryption. And so let's see how whatever message I just showed you, that jumbled up stuff, how are we going to actually decode that? So there's something called the ROT1 code, and it's actually it stands for rotation 1 code. Each of the letters has been moved by 1 rotation. So what is an A is now a B, what is a B is now a C. I'm not going to take you through the alphabet. I'm sure you guys have figured it out. And so let's decode the message. Let's see who can do it really quickly. If you can, post it on the chat, but I'm going to take this letter by letter. So let's see who's got the speed element of this. So J is going to be I. And then B is going to be A. And then N is going to be M. So what is the complete thing? I'm a kid for tech. Okay, cool. So now we've seen that, and that is a lot of information that we just kind of saw in the last 35 minutes or so. And so I want just to wrap up for everyone and just give you a summary of what we learned and how we're going to use it moving forward. So technology, we talked about how tech is something that is very broad. It's not necessarily digital like we talked about, and how it's the application of basically any knowledge towards a practical purpose. Remember how we use the example of money? So that's providing value. And so what is constantly being innovated all the time? Yeah, and that's technology. And so digital convergence, remember the kind of we're looking outside and bringing it inwards, that allows the device to be used for lots of purposes. So remember how you guys mentioned games, then there's emails, there's checking the time, and so it's all in one device. I need some help with this one. What was that digital language again? Like, I think we talked about it. That was zeros and ones. I forgot.
Binary.
answers, binary.
Yeah, exactly. And then biometrics, what was that about? Does anyone know? What would do it when we talk about
facial ID, unique features? Great answers, girls.
So exactly, it's the use of your physical characteristics, like you mentioned, your thumbprint, your fingerprint, your face, that helps me to authenticate the user and know that it's you and not someone else. A digital footprint. So remember the analogy with the sand and you leaving something behind. Same way, you're leaving it behind when you're online. What was the wrongful deception of someone using like your information? What was that called?
Fraud, good word.
Fraud. Exactly, fraud. And so what our detectives do at Mastercard is look for data that does not fit a, fill in the blank. It doesn't fit a what?
Pattern. Very
Exactly.
good.
Wow. You guys are on a roll today. It doesn't fit a pattern. And so in order for us to protect your information and like how we saw those jumbled up words, we use encryption. And so that's converting info into something that is like coded, and so no one can understand it except those who have what do we need to unlock the code virtually?
Sophia knows. Shayana, Fatima, they all say key.
Key. Yes, so you need the key. So we talk about the raw one key, and there is so many keys, by the way. Don't like be misinformed that this is just only one type. There are many types of keys that are out there that help to protect us, and we work on that in Mastercard as well. That was like absolutely amazing. Georgina, I think that these girls were so creative. They were extremely innovative. They were logical, and I think they were quite persistent as well, don't you think?
I do.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot of software and design engineers in front of us. If you like the kind of all things digital side, what we started off with, and for those who kind of liked statistics and looking at patterns, we're asking you to be fraud detectives. For those who want to take advantage of the fact that they like code and they want to protect our information online, well, I'm inviting you to be cryptologists, and that's to do with encryption, in case that didn't make sense. And so a huge thank you to everyone for joining. You guys made this session so great. On behalf of the Mastercard team and I would like to say that, like, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being so interactive on the chat. I'm just seeing everyone comment. It was absolutely great. And so we just want to tell everyone that, like, your next steps, please continue to work extra hard in school, particularly those STEM subjects, because we need your intellect, we need your creativity in companies like ours, and go forth and explore. The Expo has such a vast amount of technology that's going to be available, so please check that out as well. And just want to take some time to say a huge thanks to the Expo team for organizing this for us and giving us this opportunity today.
Thank you, Shahid, and thank you everyone at Mastercard. Thank you, girls, for joining us today. Happy International Women's Day. On the screen, we have all of our social media and website, just in case you have any questions or if you want to know more about the Girls4Tech workshop. Thank you. Have a good day ahead.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.